All right, now that you have some idea of what an ePortfolio is and why it will be an advantage for you to build one, the next step is to think about how you're actually going to do that. At this stage, the university hasn't prescribed a particular platform for you to use, which is a good thing for you because it does give you some freedom and flexibility to choose a platform that will suit the ePortfolio you want to create. In the interests of time, today we're going to cover just 3 platforms, but if there is something you've already been using or a way of building a website that you're already familiar with, please go ahead and continue with that particular tool. So what I've actually done is created my ePortfolio in each of the 3 options that we'll cover today. So this first one is created in Wix. What I like about Wix is that you do have any number of templates to choose from to get started. So you have already got that element of creativity in place and you can build from there. When you are wanting to edit within Wix, it's actually very easy. So it's, if you want to resize an image or something like that, you literally just drag the handle as you would, to resize an image in Word or any of those other packages. The particular template that I've chosen is obviously a very clean, white, crisp sort of template, which suits my style. But there are lots that have, different colours and shapes and sizes of headings and things as well. So you can be very creative. What I like about Wix is that it does have a password protected area on the free platform. So you don't have to pay anything to get this password protection. And when you're developing your ePortfolio, especially in the beginning stages, I think that's actually something that's very valuable to have. So you can publish your site and it can be available for people to look at, but you can still have an area that is private and only available to people you choose to share it with. So when you're doing some personal reflection, you can be adding those to your ePortfolio and shifting them across into the public space only when you're ready to do that. So this is a student who created an ePortfolio as part of the Urban Planning Practicum course last year. And she's also used Wix, and you can see the difference there in the template she's chosen compared to the one I chose. All right, this is my ePortfolio again, this time in a Google site template. The advantage of Google Sites is that it is actually linked to your Griffith Gmail account. The lifelong access is still there because your Griffith Gmail is actually yours for life. So when you graduate, you do keep your Gmail as well. I personally don't find Google Sites quite as intuitive to use, but once you're in there and you're using the tools, it's not difficult either. I think Google Sites is probably less creative than the Wix option, and although you can still add colour and those sorts of things, it doesn't have the same level of creative functionality as Wix or Weebly, which we'll talk about in a moment. The one big advantage of the Google Sites template is that there are some very high level privacy settings. So when you go in and create your site, you can make it private initially, so it's only visible for you. And when you're ready, you can choose to share it only with certain people, or you can publish it live on the web so everyone can see it. So it does have some fairly sophisticated privacy settings available for you. And I think that's probably the biggest advantage of the Google Site template. The other advantage is that it is actually a template. The Griffith Enrich ePortfolio has been set up with some headings that are associated with the Griffith graduate attributes, and they go back to those soft skills, the transferable skills, the employability skills that we spoke about earlier that employers value. This is Ellen's site, so you can see that she has the same headings and things that I had in mind. So we've both developed these ePortfolios from the Enrich ePortfolio template. All right, this is a Weebly site. You can see, again, we're going back into that creative style, and Carrie Ann's site obviously does have the large hero image, which is fairly popular in websites at the moment. You do have to take a little bit of care though, and make sure that what you're putting above the fold, as we call it. So if you literally think about a newspaper being folded on a stand in a newsagent, what do you see above the fold? So what's on the top half of the newspaper? So if you are going to choose a template that has one of these large hero images, just make sure you're thinking about what else is visible to draw people into your site. Weebly for me is actually very, very easy to use. It's quite literally drag and drop functionality. So if you want to put in an image, you drag an image into the site. If you'd like to put a heading, you drag a heading in, and so on. I think Wix and Weebly both have higher level functionality. than Google Sites, and they both support those media-rich artifacts more than the Google Site template would. Okay, this is again my information in a Weebly template, and you can see I've gone with quite a different look and feel this time. All right, so how do you choose your platform? You need to think about what's important to you. So if creativity is important, I'd go for Wix or Weebly. If privacy is important to you, Wix or Google Sites. If you're thinking you want to put in lots of different images and videos and media-rich artifacts, then Wix or Weebly are probably better. Lifelong access is available on all three, although it's important to note that the university at this stage actually doesn't support these platforms. So if you need help with building the platform, of course you can come back and touch base with me as part of the Plus program, but you will also need to use Google a little bit if you do run into problems. Hopefully I've given you enough information now so that you can go and make an informed choice about which platform you want to use to get started with your ePortfolio. I look forward to catching up with you in the very near future, and if you do have any questions about ePortfolios, you're always welcome to email me at plus@griffith.edu.au.